Should I date someone I'm not physically attracted to?
Well, the short answer here is yes and also no. But let me give you some understanding here. So we as women, we choose men, or we should be choosing men based upon their characteristics and their qualities, how safe they make us feel, how well that they can protect and provide for us, the resources that they can give to us, the things that they do for us in order to pursue us and earn us, and to try to win and earn our love, all the ways that they can make us feel safe in their presence, emotionally, physically, financially, mentally, spiritually, in every which way. So because those are the top tier qualities that you should be vetting when you are being pursued romantically by a masculine energy man, the physical, outer superficial layer of attraction is not as important. So because we as women especially take a lot longer to develop romantic feelings for a guy, and we take a little bit more time in order to vet his potential in providing resources, we kind of vet all the things that he is doing to earn us. We kind of watch his behaviors, get a feel of who he is and what his values are, where his priorities lie, how hard of a worker that he is. So because those things do take more time to learn about him and how persistent he is in his pursuit of you, you may think firsthand when you initially meet him that he doesn't have the looks that you particularly would find attractive or would particularly typically go for. You might find that he's not that attractive to you physically, but through all of this time that you allow yourself to vet who he is and get to see the characteristics of him and where he wants to go and where his priorities are and how hard of a worker he is and how much he even values being a provider and protector, you can develop those romantic, more physical attraction feelings over time. So that is why I say to you that you should grant yourself that time to learn all of these things about him, because even if you didn't initially feel the physical attraction towards him at first, you may develop that over time as time goes on and as you begin to open up more to him, feel more vulnerable around him, feel like he holds your emotions very safely with him, and that he is being a good provider for you. However, the caveat here is that after time has gone on and you still don't find yourself to be at all physically attracted to him, then no, you should not settle and be with someone who you are ultimately not physically and sexually attracted to, because then that's being dishonest with yourself, and you're doing a disservice to yourself and also to him. And ultimately, that's just not fair for either of you. Because you see, I think a lot of times women get into this place in their heads where they think, oh, well, he's a very nice guy. It seems to be that, he doesn't chase all kind of different women. He has good morals and good values. His head is in the right place. He's a really nice guy. He says all the right things. He does all the right things, but I'm just not physically attracted to him. And so they think that because he has all of those other great qualities, that they're just supposed to settle for a guy that they just simply aren't physically attracted to and can't seem to get to a place where they start to see the beauty of him physically. So in your mind, what is happening is you think that if you don't say yes to this guy because he really likes you and he's saying all the right things and he's doing all the right things, that you'll always have to settle with that. You'll always have to settle with getting the nice guy, but that also doesn't have the looks that you desire and that you don't feel attraction for, when that's not the case at all. You can have the full package, but you have to be in a space where you are able to receive that package. And I've always been someone to stand on growing in love rather than falling in love, rather than that sort of exciting, exhilarating, chemical inducing falling in love, and instead opting for the journey of growing in love together and growing in your attraction for each other. And you can give yourself that home base to even allow that physical attraction to begin to bloom. So your home base, for example, would be the basics of what you're physically attracted to. So does he take care of himself? Does he take care of his health and, have a good regular workout routine? It seems to be that he's clean cut. He takes care of his appearance. He doesn't look rough around the edges and scruffy. He has a good outer look for you to even begin on. Does he take care of his teeth? If does he have all his teeth? If he has all his teeth, and he takes care of his dental hygiene, then that's another physical attribute that you can base your ability to grow in love on. Do you understand what I'm saying? You will only grow in attraction for someone that meets those very basic level standards. And you are the reciprocal of who you are attracted to. So if you take care of yourself, if you make sure that your fitness is in good health, and you take care of your dental hygiene, and you keep your appearance clean cut and composed, then the chances is that you are going to only be attracted to someone that also does the same thing. And there very well may be guys that come across your path and they don't have all of those basic level attributes, because they just find you hot and sexy and beautiful and attractive, but they themselves are not what your base standard is. I hope you're following me along here. So a guy who is maybe from a completely different ethnicity and culture than you, and he's a super big, hefty guy, and he's, thinks that you're beautiful and attractive and wants to take you out, but you're not typically attracted to guys that are extremely overweight, then no, you don't even have to give yourself that time and grace period to allow that physical attraction to grow, because you're already starting out on against what your base level standard is, because he's extremely overweight and you're super fit and hot and sexy and desirable. Get it? I can even speak for myself. I have had guys that have desired to take me out because I'm this attractive, alluring woman. I look like a good piece of arm candy, right? But I already knew in my mind that I would never grow in physical attraction for them, because they were just a world apart from me. They were much bigger than me, not physically what I would ever be attracted to, because it all comes back down to health and the way that I take care of myself versus the way that they take care of their self and what their diet and lifestyle is. It just, there's no way that would ever work. But then there have been many more of those guys in my path who have found me to be physically attractive to them, and I wasn't initially attracted to them thinking that they were the sexiest guy on earth, right? But that they met all the base level standards of taking care of themselves physically, looking, vital and healthy and in good shape. And then all the characteristics and qualities of them were learned over time, where I found that they were very good providers, very, very important, very good providers financially, caring, loving, nurturing men who felt emotionally safe. And so after all of these qualities were vetted, and I allowed myself that grace period to decide whether I could be physically attracted to them, then what do you know? Ended up finding that, yeah, I actually did develop the physical attraction for them in due time after learning all of these more deeper, important qualities. So I hope you understand what I'm getting at here is that you can have a base level standard to be able to grow on rather than just kind of settling for any random guy who is completely out of your league, or you are out of his league, and trying to fake something and build from that foundation. That's just inevitably not going to work, because if you don't feel the physical sexual attraction for someone, then like I said, you are doing yourself a big disgrace. You're doing the other person a very big disgrace, because that sexual attraction is the only differentiating factor of a romantic relationship versus the relationship that you have with everybody else in your life. You know, when you become a truly feminine woman, you might find that you probably know right now a lot of men that are extremely hot and sexy and attractive and chiseled and buff and strong and tall, and that whole package of exactly what all the girls are flocking towards, because they're just so hot and sexy, because Hollywood tells them that that's what they need to be attracted to. You might find that you know those guys right now, but because you are a feminine woman who does not lead with her sexual attraction towards a guy, and that there are more other important qualities, deeper qualities to build on, that you can easily acknowledge that they are attractive men, and that ideally you would like to see yourself with that kind of guy, but that ultimately, if that guy doesn't have those qualities that you need to help keep you feeling safe with him, then all of that whole outer superficial layer package means absolutely nothing. So all in all, we need to have an understanding here that men today are very spoiled by modern Western day women who pursue these good-looking, hot, sexy, attractive men based upon their outer package, and care nothing about their deeper, more foundational qualities. And so they get spoiled by the fact that women are just kind of flocking to them and throwing themselves all over them, and kind of become conditioned to thinking that if a woman is not doing that to him and not throwing herself all over him because he has a six-pack, he's super buff and strong, and maybe has a lot of money, that woman he is pursuing that is not, jumping to throw herself all over him, that in his mind he thinks that she's just not into him. And that's just simply not the case, because that's not how the female attraction system works. But that is how the male attraction system works, because males are driven by their sexual pursuit, their sexual desire and sexual pull of testosterone towards a woman, and their male brain knows immediately in 1/5 of a second whether they classify a woman as sexually attractive to them or not. But because women are now so much in a masculinized headspace where they are pursuing men because they find them to be hot, sexy, and attractive, that these men are becoming spoiled to that and believe that a woman who doesn't really seem initially interested at first and needs a little bit more work, that those women are just simply not interested. And that's just bogus. It's completely bogus, but that's the kind of spoiling that men have grown adapted to because of the masculinization of women. We can acknowledge that reality here too, and that's actually has happened to me as well. I was dating a guy and I didn't throw myself all over him like he had been so used to women doing to him in previous relationships. So he kind of would get all confused and in his head space about whether or not I liked him or not, or wanted him to pursue me romantically, right? Because he was insecure because I wasn't throwing myself all over him. And so that's just the reality that we live in. Men are scared because they have become so feminized. And ultimately here, you are, as a female, are the more attractive sex. When men have a beautiful, attractive woman on their arm, they feel like $1,000,000. Okay, it's comparable to the way that we feel when we have this rich and powerful, high status guy on our arm. Okay, a guy that is financially providing for us. In that same way, they feel like $1,000,000 to have an attractive, beautiful woman on their arm. So you are the star. You are supposed to be the more attractive one in the relationship. He is supposed to be the harder worker. He is supposed to be the masculine frame and container. He is supposed to be the one that is willing to get his hands dirty and look a little bit scruffy to keep you looking beautiful. So yes, ultimately, you should be more physically attracted and sexually attracted to a guy who is a hard worker and willing to get his hands dirty and look a little bit rough around the edges and scruffy just to keep you looking good and perfect. Because that means that he is a reflection. You are a reflection of all the work that he's putting in and providing for you to look that way. That's why in the world of masculine and feminine, we often consider feminine men to be more of those men that care way more about their appearance, and they're spending hours and hours building their muscles up in the gym. You know, they're wearing all these flashy things. They're investing a lot into their wardrobes and in their clothes. We consider these men to be more feminine men because they're using their looks to attract women and have women throwing themselves all over them. When that has no evolutionary basis. But that's actually what females do, because nature incentivizes females that keep good hygiene, keep good health, and keep their attractiveness and vitality very high. So that way they can have male energy pursuing after them. Do not count on the lack of physical attraction that you do not feel for him at first, but with time and you find that you still can't build up that physical sexual desire for him, then what you need to do is get out of that dating relationship, end things with grace and integrity, and decide for yourself that you do ultimately need to find someone that you do physically and sexually desire for the overall integrity and health of your lifelong partnership. So that's all I'm going to say for this video for right now. If you found this to be helpful, of course, leave a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Ladies, for those of you who are out there dating and, you know, wanting to explore the dating world with a little bit less intimidation in a Western society that is so full of chaos and confusion, I've got you. I have created the WIFEY dating playbook for my ladies who have a lot of questions about dating and how to just show up as a woman that is memorable, desirable, alluring, and always has the men just kind of swooning over her. That playbook is really going to dive into all of those details and help you just become a better version of you, not only for men and gaining a man's approval, but also just for you to feel and put yourself in a higher vibrational state. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out that WIFEY dating playbook. And for those of you who have one-on-one questions or specific situations and scenarios that you need a little bit more deeper advice or insight on, make sure you send me an email, which will be listed down in the description box below, and I will happily get back to you, and we can look for working together and see what kind of resolution we can come to agree on together. And I'm happy to give you as much advice as I possibly can. So until the next video, I will talk to you guys soon. Love you.